Hi everybody, today we're going to be painting a non-metallic metal sword. As usual, we will be needing plenty of water, using nice thin paint, 00 or fine detail brush, whichever you tend to use, and these paints. So I'm using Vallejo Pans Races stencil, which is just it's the paint I like to use for white. So yeah, you can use whatever you normally use for white, whether it be GW Skull White or Vallejo Watercolor White, whatever. That'll be fine. I'm using Russian Tank Crew from Pans Races as my grey. Again, you could use any grey you really wanted. I am only using this one because I have it, and it's a slightly bluey colour to it. Which I think will work better on a sword. I'm using Game Colour Turquoise, so GW Hawk Turquoise I think is it. It's the direct comparison for that. And then this is GW Lich Purple. So I'm actually doing a two-tone effect on this, with a different colour on the top to the bottom to try and create a feel of a really shiny blade. So let's get on with it. So here we are. Here's the model we're going to be painting today. Well, the sort of anyway. First thing I'm going to use is the a 1-to-1 mix of the Hawk Turquoise and the Russian Tank Crew, and I'm going to use this to for the top surface of the blade. So if we think of the blade as having 4 sides, there's the outside, which we can see now, the inside, which is the other side of the blade facing the chaplain, and then there's the top and the bottom. So what I'm doing is I'm adding the Hawk Turquoise and grey mix to the tip of the outside top and the hilt edge of the inside top. So I'm just using this to sort of work out how much of the effect I want at the moment, and then I'm just pulling it from the sort of center to the tip, or to the point where the colour wants to be the strongest, because where the brush leaves a model is where the bulk of the pigment will be left. So just building this up through lots of small thin layers. The paints at their end 3 or 4 to 1, just water to paint, and I'm giving it a sort of a diagonal end, so just pulling it to the edge of the blade on the inside and to the middle of the blade on the outside. So now I'm using the Lich Purple in a 1-to-1 mix with the Russian Tank Crew, and we're just going to do the same, but this time on the bottom of the blade. So on the outside hilt, you can see that's going to be the darker area, and the inside bottom tip is the darker area for the purple.
So this will give us that quartered look, which was the same as was used on the non-metallic axe tutorial I did. So as before, we're just pulling from the centre, just building up the colour through lots of thin layers. Okay, we're now taking the Russian tank crew, our grey colour, and we're just adding this onto the areas that will be white. So we're going from the centre to the white areas. And this will have the effect of blending out the colours and giving us a nice transition. So just working each part of the blade in sequence. That way you're giving each part time to dry before you add more paint to it. Now just touching up some of the colours with the original paints I used, just to bring back a bit of the colour, as adding the grey washed them out a little bit. This is where I will chop and change between the paints on my palettes, just to get that transition just right. So we're now ready for a highlight colour. So this is a 1-to-1 mix of the Panzerrace's stencil and the Russian tank crew. So you can use whatever white and grey you happen to have. And so this is going from just off centre to the areas of the blade that will be white. So on this case, you can see here it's the outside bottom tip and the inside upper tip, and as before, just build that up slowly, lots of thin layers. So you can see those areas are starting to get lighter now, and you can see the effect is starting to come in. So yet again, I'm just going back and adding a bit of the original turquoise and the original purple, just to strengthen those colours. I feel they're getting a bit washed out. And now just going back with the white mix, just adding another few layers there. So this is now pure stencil, still thinned 3 or 4 drops of water to 1 drop of paint. So as before, we're just adding this to the areas we want to be white, but we're just doing the sort of last quarter of the blade now, and just building that up slowly to give a nice smooth transition. Also doing the edge of the blade here, using the side of the brush. So it'll be quite hard to see the edge highlight here, because the paint is so thin, but slowly adding edge highlights like this will give us a nice smooth edge highlight in the end. Much more subtle highlight. Okay, so now I'm doing edge highlights, but I'm using the pure stencil, but this is in a 1-to-1 mix with water. So it's a lot thicker, and we'll just give us a strong edge that we need on the blade. But because we did the edge highlights first with the thinner paint, they should be nice and smooth and still quite subtle, those edge highlights. So just making sure we've got all the edges done, and then use a little bit of the thicker stencil to highlight up the white tips of the blade. Now you do need to be careful doing this bit, as this is what gives you the sharp edge in the middle of the blade. So I'm now going back with some of the original colour, but I'm just adding this around the middle of the blade, because that's where the strongest colour wants to be. Now I'm just painting the wire that runs up the blade surface for the power. I haven't decided whether I'm actually going to add a power effect or a glow to this, so I'm just painting that wire black just to make it stand out. Now I do go over the edge here and get a bit of black on the blade. It's not a problem, we act quickly enough, and just add some water to it and wash it out. We'll just soak that water back off with the brush, and then if there's any sort of dark patches now, we'll just touch them up with the white, and just gently go over them. A couple of layers will be enough to remove that mark and still maintain the transition. So I've also decided here that the very lightest areas of the blade still aren't light enough, so I'm just adding another couple of layers just to strengthen that. And there we go, there's the finished effect. Two-tone chromed effect blade. I hope everyone enjoyed that, and thanks for watching. Please remember to rate, comment and subscribe.